CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
We haven't solved the problem, but it's great to see some positive trends downward.
Some good news for vehicle owners as auto thefts in our province are trending downwards. Good evening. There's nothing better than driving a brand new vehicle, but what are you doing to protect it from being stolen? Auto thefts have plagued our country for years, but new data is suggesting it's on the decline. Let's head to CTV's Luke Samardi joins us live tonight from Barrie Police Headquarters with more. Luke.
Well, Sarah, it can happen in a blink of an eye. Auto theft continues to be a prominent problem within our region, but a new study from Écoutez shows a promising trend. It's welcome news to vehicle owners. A new report shows a decrease in auto theft throughout the country.
So far this year, where we've seen a decline, almost back to pre-pandemic numbers, which still means there's still a lot of vehicles being stolen.
According to the anti-fraud group Écoutez Association, in the first half of 2025, more than 23,000 vehicles were stolen compared to more than 20,000 in 2026, a 10% decrease. Ontario saw more than an 8% decline in 2025. More than 9,600 vehicles were stolen compared to more than 8,700 this year.
Barrie, Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa, the majority of Ontario, it's really the SUVs and pickup trucks. Those are and newer models.
And residents in our region say they have taken steps to protect their vehicles.
What am I doing to protect myself? Certainly make sure I lock the car at night, because I know young people like to dip in for change. Apart from that, parking it in public places.
I have GPS inside, I have the AirTag, I have the GPS for the insurance, so I think we're pretty much all right. I know where my car is all the time, so I think I'm pretty good on that one.
With local police advising the public to take even more precautions.
The vehicles that we do recover through investigation, predominantly we are recovering in rail yards that are being shipped out east, or in sea containers getting ready to be shipped overseas.
Police adding most vehicle thefts are part of a larger scaled organized crime. Once they have your vehicle, it can be difficult to find ever again.
We highly recommend that if you do buy one of these high-end vehicles that are targeted for thefts, that you install an aftermarket GPS in the vehicle or an aftermarket ignition kill switch. That's the best preventative.
Criminals are able to access the computer, the electronics of that vehicle with relative ease, and they're either reprogramming key fobs or accessing the vehicle through various points and able to start that vehicle.
Back live outside of Barrie Police Headquarters, and Écoutez Association says numbers will continue to decline once auto manufacturers adapt and improve their anti-theft technologies, with Transport Canada saying they are continuing to modernize that plan since 2024. Sarah.
All right, that's our Luke Samard reporting live tonight. Thanks, Luke. Now, we do have a note for drivers tonight. You are being urged to fill up today ahead of an expected jump at the pumps tomorrow. The cost of gas is set to rise 6 cents overnight. That's according to Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTagg. He's also predicting that diesel will rise by 12 cents.
There is no doubt that this has been the wildest ride in energy prices we've ever seen. Worse than 2008, I might add. A lot of stuff back then. But it's not that it's up and down. It's up and down rather radically. I mean, we're going up 6 cents a litre tomorrow, 168.9. Diesel's going up 12 cents a litre, 220.9. Now, we've seen these numbers before. But, you know, the anticipation of prices going up and down, I think, is pretty critical because it's going to save people a lot of money. But this time, it's a little different. You know, we don't have this midweek declaration by President Trump that things are getting better. There's a deal just around the corner, or a response by Iran that maybe there might be a cessation of hostilities.
McTagg adding that the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in the U.S. has dropped below 300 million barrels for the first time since the 1980s. A pedestrian has died after being hit by a vehicle last night in Innisfil. Emergency crews were called to the 6th line in Side Road 10 around 10 p.m. A 45-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, the driver stayed and has been cooperative with police, but anyone with information on that crash is asked to call Simcoe Police. One person, meanwhile, has been arrested for an armed home invasion in Bolton last spring. Officers were called to Old King Road on March 31st of 2025, shortly after 6 a.m. Police say 4 men entered the home with a gun and, after confronting a person inside, fled on foot. Further investigation revealed that the suspects were armed with a number of guns, one of which was shot inside the home. A 24-year-old man from Ajax has been arrested and faces 10 charges, including robbery using a firearm. A fire at a home near Friday Harbor early Monday morning caused an estimated $1.7 million in damages. Emergency crews were called to Big Bay Point Road in Innisfil around 1:20 a.m. after neighbors noticed flames coming out of the back of the house. According to the fire chief, the owners were away on vacation at the time. 7 fire trucks were called to the scene as crews worked to bring the flames under control. Fire officials tell CTV News the home is destroyed and a cat is still missing, although they're not sure it was inside. The office of the fire marshal will investigate. The future YMCA is coming together in Barrie's South End. It's now about a year away from serving as a massive multi-purpose center. Well, today our camera was invited to take a tour, and handling that camera is our Mike Lang, who joins us live tonight with more on the special tour of construction. Mike.
Yes, Sarah, we're live here at the future home of the Barrie YMCA, something that Barrie has not had in 6 years. And like you said, today I got a first-hand look behind the scenes at the work that's being done, which is nearing the halfway point. The blueprint of the new YMCA in Barrie is quickly coming to life. The 77,000 square foot facility has windows, walls, and ceilings shaping into the spaces that will soon serve our city and the region.
You can actually visibly see where the community is going to be able to come and have a safe place where they feel like they belong, grow, thrive.
This will be the 25-meter 4-lane pool surrounded by the upper-level fitness center. These are among the 12 youth transitional housing units, which will help local youth who do not have a stable roof over their heads.
This will be a space that will provide wraparound services for youth that are in school or have a job, but just don't have the ability to afford their own space.
The track and private consultation offices for RVH cancer and cardiac rehab patients also coming together. Some of the many programs that will be offered in the facility.
It takes a community to build a YMCA, but then we're going to fill it with community too. So it's such an inspirational building just to come see in this stage, but also we're really excited to open it in a year.
After breaking ground in March last year, the foundation was poured last summer. The first steel beams were then installed in November, allowing for most of the walls and roof to be done by the spring. 2 weeks ago, this drone footage was shared on social media. The YMCA says the number crunching that construction teams have done has allowed for the final price tag to be below the initial $70 million budget, and it's expected to come in closer to $62 million.
They've worked tirelessly from a tender perspective to bring in all of our costs under budget.
The upwards of 90 workers on site daily focused on getting the construction to a point where it can stay on schedule even as the weather changes.
We're just trying to coordinate all the trades so that we get this building closed in before winter, and then that way we can finish it throughout the winter and be ready for the grand opening.
And so far, $55 million has been raised through all levels of government and community partners, and the YMCA plans to raise all necessary funds in time for the fall 2027 completion date. Reporting live, I'm Mike Lang. Sarah, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks for that, Mike. The future of Orillia's new hospital is once again on hold as the city seeks legal advice. After close to 5 hours behind closed doors discussing the land transfer between Lakehead University and Orillia Soldiers Memorial Hospital, council voted to seek independent legal advice. It comes a week after a special council meeting was held to discuss the plan. After hours of debate, council did pass a motion asking the two parties to come back with more concrete obligations, including Lakehead using the funds from the sale to directly invest in a new building on campus. And staying in Orillia, new Catholic school spaces are on the way. Today, the province provided the Simcoe Muskoka Catholic District School Board with approval to issue the tender for the new addition at Notre Dame Catholic School to create more student spaces. The school was announced last year and will cost $10.4 million, which includes additional funding of $6.5 million. When it's complete, the addition will add 184 new elementary student spaces. Now, the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit is reminding everyone tonight to protect themselves after a mosquito pool here in Barrie tested positive for West Nile virus. It was also recently detected in a bird and a horse in Simcoe Muskoka. Currently, no human cases have been confirmed. They haven't been since 2026, or in this year anyhow. West Nile virus circulates between birds and mosquitoes. People can be infected by a mosquito that bit an infected bird. The risk is highest in late summer. Most people infected with West Nile virus don't get sick, but some can become seriously ill. We're about 10 minutes past 6. Casey Colby, it's looking a bit breezy out there. How does it feel?
Yes, it's quite lovely. Quite lovely, I should say. Yes, a little breeze. Going to be a change in wind direction a little later on this evening and into tomorrow. But let's talk about a first look at the forecast. And here we go, another gorgeous day. Really, really lovely, lovely. First look at the forecast, of course, brought to you by the graveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway experts there. 24 degrees, winds are out of the northwest, 15 kilometers an hour, gusting as high as 20, possibly even 25. This is a look at the temperature across your board. Yeah, it's your board, it's our board, it's everyone's board. This is 26 degrees in our region in Owen Sound, 24 in Collingwood, 24 in the Sunshine City of Orillia, 23 Perry Soundway, 24 in Alliston, and call it 24 degrees in Newmarket. A quick look at the radar satellite images in the top of the province has some active weather, a little bit of active weather, not a whole lot. And in our region, well, there's not really much to speak of as far as rain amounts go. However, coming up, Sarah, in the next few days, we will have about the same amount of water and active weather rainfall as they're having at the Water and Dirt Festival in Petawawa, Ontario. Have you ever heard of it?
If you get me started on the Ottawa Valley, you know I won't stop. Of course I've heard of it.
Very good. Well, we're having about the same amount of rain. More on that coming up a few minutes' time. Back inside.
Thanks, Case, for brightening up my evening. The province provided an update today on the wildfire situation here in Ontario. Now, new fires have been reported, but people in northern communities have been able to return home. CTV's Mike Walker reports.
As wildfires continue to rage in northern Ontario, crews on the ground are making progress with help from water bombers and helicopters.
We are making steady progress with fewer fires burning out of control.
There are currently 152 active fires with a dozen deemed out of control. 84 additional fires have been put out over the past week. The Minister of Natural Resources says this is Ontario's worst wildfire season on record, with the largest wildfire ever recorded north of Thunder Bay, the size of 350,000 football fields.
While we're not in the clear here in Ontario yet, we are confident that we have the crews and the aircraft that we need to get the job done.
The province's response shifting towards returning people home. In total, 14 communities have been evacuated. So far, 6 communities have returned.
It's incredibly stressful, and we remain engaged on the ground through text, through phone calls, and the likes to make sure that details as communities come back.
But still, more than 1,100 people remain displaced in host communities across the province.
One community is in the process of returning their members home. Our government is committed to supporting affected communities for as long as needed.
The Ford government has been criticized by some First Nations communities and the opposition for how quickly it responded and ordered evacuations. Today, the NDP repeating calls for a public inquiry.
We need it because we cannot trust this government to take responsibility or accountability, and we clearly, year after year, they do nothing to actually improve the situation on the ground.
In response to inquiry calls,
from an evacuation perspective, obviously we try and give as much warning as we possibly can.
Harris noted that some communities are remote and that there is always an internal review at the end of wildfire season, but did not commit to an inquiry.
One of the things that we really want to press upon communities, if you see fires starting and you're able to evacuate, you should do it. You don't necessarily have to wait for the M&R or the government to come in and say, you better get out.
Given the progress made, the government says some crews assisting from other provinces will soon return home or travel to British Columbia to assist with wildfire efforts there. Mike Walker, CTV News.
Ontario Liberal leadership candidates took the stage for their first leadership debate last night. The party's two previous leaders, Stephen Del Duca and Bonnie Crombie, did not have seats in the legislature. Two current caucus members, Lee Fairclough and Stephanie Bowman, made the case that the next leader needs the visibility of being an elected legislator. The other three candidates, former federal cabinet minister Navdeep Bains, housing advocate Eric Lombardi, and former political staffer Dylan Morando, argued that that isn't what matters to voters.
So if we want to win again, we have to first attract talented candidates that Ontarians can imagine can serve them well in government. We've got to operate our technology and infrastructure so that we're on the ground across the province and able to deliver our presence everywhere.
And the Ontario Liberal Party can't wait for the next election to rebuild. We need to start now, listening to our members across this whole province, urban, rural, suburban, the north, and listen to what they have to say about what our party needs.
So our job is not to oppose. Our job is to propose. We need to become an alternative to this government. We need to show that we are ready to govern.
Make sure that we are building from the grassroots up, working with local associations, our rural commissions and northern commissions and young liberals. And I would show up as a leader in communities with them, so Ontarians knew how we would solve any problem.
You need to build a strong team of candidates, and you need to have a comprehensive plan. And that's what I will do as a leader. I've done it before federally. I took the Liberals from 3rd to 1st, and I plan to do that provincially as well.
The next Ontario Liberal leader will be announced on November 21st. Coming up next here on CTV, from rope swings to boating, this immersive new camp gives children with different types of disabilities the chance to do it all. Plus, there's nothing like a crisp, cool snow cone on a hot day. How a young boy from Meaford has turned the sweet treat into a summer job. Those stories and more after the break. Stay with us.
Every summer, our community comes together where rhythm resonates throughout the city and creativity fills the air. Local musicians share their stories in song, and thousands gather for free in the heart of the city. Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors, the Troubadour Festival, where arts, culture, and our community come alive in downtown.
Thanks for staying with us. A 12-year-old boy from Meaford has come up with a cool, refreshing summer job idea that earns him as much as $500 a day.
Superstar snow cones! Superstar snow cones! Superstar snow cones!
How's it taste?
Great.
Yes, Hunter Morton is a businessman who believes in his product, especially his favorite Grape or Charity. You can find him in Meaford at the corner of Grant and Middle Avenue most days, whipping up fresh snow cones for anyone who wants to cool off and has $4 or $5, and his buddies can vouch for the cones.
They think it's great. They always try and get a free snow cone. Most of the time I make them pay, but sometimes I'll be closing up and I'll give them an extra free snow cone. If I find something else I want to get, I'll probably get it. And I'm thinking about maybe buying a 3D printer for the business so I can print little snow cone clickers.
Superstar snow cones. Sales profits are so good that Hunter, in fact, just bought himself an e-scooter. Looks good, buddy. A unique new camp has opened near Bracebridge called Camp Lionheart. It aims to create an unforgettable camp experience for kids who are nonverbal on the autism spectrum or live with mobility challenges.
3, 2, 1, ride!
I love being adventurous. My favorite activities are tubing, the high rope swing, and the motorboat.
I also love getting to hang out with my friends every day.
They spend a lot of times in hospitals. They spend a lot of times at appointments hearing what they can't do, especially their parents, the whole long list of things that they shouldn't expect their kids to do. I was very committed to finding all the ways in which we could defy that.
He gets every opportunity that a neurotypical or regular child can get, and I know here, he comes here, he's loved, he's safe, he gets to participate in amazing things, probably better than most camps, and he just gets to have the time of his life and gets to enjoy summer like every other kid.
The camp has 65 kids enrolled in the current session and will aim to accommodate more than 100 throughout the month of August. It's never too early to start learning about sustainable practices like farm-to-table foods.
That's a good one. Nice.
The Lakehead University Farm Lab is garden-based learning and tailored to educating everyone from preschoolers to university graduate students about all things fresh and sustainable. The free event was today and organized in partnership with the Simcoe County Food Council and split between the garden, which you see there, and the sharing place in Orillia.
This is kale seeds here. And any kind of connection between schools and food, we're bringing people together to talk, to learn, to engage in hands-on experiential activities, whether that's in the garden. We harvested 111 pounds of produce yesterday morning. We took that into the Sharing Place Food Center, where we then prepared some of that food for our lunch today.
I am so inspired by all this work that I've been doing. I've worked in the culinary business for about 5 years, from restaurants and fast food, and seeing how wasteful restaurants and our community in Orillia has been with food in this whole has been so disheartening to me. So to be able to work in a system where I can recover food, teach children about how to care for the land and how to cook food safely and how to eat nutritiously and be able to provide so much to my community is such a fulfilling experience.
The Farm Lab holds volunteer drop-ins on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, where community members are welcome to come help water, plant, harvest, and enjoy while meeting fellow labbers, they're called, and learn more about sustainable food and farming. As always, we'd like to remind you that there are plenty of things to see and take in on the CTV Barrie website, including rewatching any of the newscasts that you see, any of the stories during the newscast, or there's plenty to read. The site, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan the QR code on your screen. This Saturday is the next Troubadour Festival summer concert with headliner Bahamas.
Take me to the bridge and let me walk upon the water.
And that is a sampling of the newest music from Bahamas. The song's called The Bridge. And joining us now here on CTV Barrie is singer, songwriter, guitarist Aoife Järvinen. How was my pronunciation, Aoife?
It was fantastic. Better than most, actually.
Listen, we're thrilled to have you coming to Barrie this Saturday, but this isn't unusual for you. Having grown up here, how does it feel to be coming back as our headliner?
Well, fantastic. I'm looking forward to playing music there, and more than that, I'm looking forward to cracking jokes about Rob Hamilton and the Spirit Catcher and Janice Laking, and having people actually laugh at them. That, you know, those jokes don't translate when I'm playing in Peterborough and Hamilton and stuff.
Well, and that leads me perfectly into my next question. I was going to ask you what the audience can expect from you up on stage this weekend.
Well, yeah, I think, I mean, musically, you know, I'm always trying to live in the moment, as they say. I'm not worried about recreating the album note for note. And so I've been very fortunate to work with wonderful musicians over many, many years. And we've definitely sort of formed a shorthand, a musical shorthand. So it's fun. It sort of allows us to kind of tailor the show to the night, you know. So if the crowd feels like they really want to go in a certain direction, then in some ways we can lead them there and follow them there, and it's sort of this thing that we do together. And yeah, I don't want to say we're the Grateful Dead or something. I think the songs are recognizable. If people like certain songs, I'm sure they'll recognize them, but I think as a performer, that kind of makes it more exciting for me to allow them to go wherever they want to go on a particular night, as opposed to just doing a photocopy of a photocopy, you know, the same show every single night. And with respect to a lot of bands who do that and do it well. It's just not something that I do, you know? So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
You and your band have been doing this for an incredibly long time. In fact, you just released your 7th studio album last fall. It's called My Second Last Album. So is that in fact true, that it'll be your second last?
I mean, if I had to tell you today, I would say, yeah, it's probably true. I don't know. I think, you know, I love playing music. It's so woven into the fabric of my life. It's, you know, and I think I'll always be a musician. I was a musician long before anybody cared about my music or it was my profession. But I would imagine I'll keep playing music long after it's my profession. And so, I don't know. I think it's, you know, there's maybe a little bit of a midlife crisis moment in there for me where I'm just I've been doing this now for 25 years or so professionally. And, you know, the way we usually do is to make an album, go on tour, make another album, go on tour. And it's sort of this bit of a hamster wheel. And I'm sure that the feeling I have is no different than the one that you would have if you worked at Royal Bank or Brafasco or something like that. I'm trying to think of a local Barrie business, but
we will
remember that Brafasco commercial they used to air with those nuts and bolts and everything? It was fantastic. Anyway,
you are surely resonating with our audience right now. I'm sure many of them at home do.
Well, in any case, I think for music, for me, I think I'll always play music. I'll always write songs. The question is really just in what, you know, how public is that and what vehicle? And the truth is, like, I have a young family and other parts of my life now that, frankly, are just as interesting and in many cases much more important than the music, you know? So now I'm lucky. I get to, you know, have a career that I really care about and music, which I'm very passionate about. And I have this wonderful family, which also I'm just as happy to carry my daughter's soccer cleats, you know?
Congratulations. We're all very happy for you and excited to see you on stage. I'll remind our viewers that they can catch Bahamas on the Troubadour Festival Summer Concert Series stage on Saturday night at Meridian Place. Thanks again, Aoife.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Time now to head outside to KC.
It was superstar snow cone hot today in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario. The hammer, the hot spot in Canada. 28.6 degrees without the Humidex. So hot, hot, hot. We're cooling off. How cool? I'll let you know. Snow cone cool? Maybe not quite there, but our weather watcher artiste, have a look. Isaac says, my vote for the best playground in all our area, the Copeland Park Playground in Aurora. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hey, it's Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on this show, we're giving away $100 gift cards to Shoppers Drug Mart.
So make sure you're listening Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
How fun is this? We are celebrating summer snapshots of your bucket list items. So not things that you hope to do, but instead things that you have ticked off. So keep those pictures coming. Picture this at ctv.ca. Case, it's funny that we were talking about selling snow cone. Oh, what? What is it?
People that you've ticked off?
The list is long.
How long's the list?
But distinguished. We don't have time for that. Casey, I'll let you take it away. I've got no composure left today, and my voice is about 4 octaves lower, my friend.
I like it. Very well done. Yes, maybe a snow cone would help. Maybe that's what you need, Sarah, for sure. It's a great way to cool off, isn't it? Snow cones around the waterfront, that's it's always popular, isn't it? Let's continue on and find out if it's going to be kind of the rest of a snow cone week to try and cool off. We are cooling off, though. We really are. This is a look at the temperature outside your door. Call it 26 degrees, what it feels like in Newmarket right now. 27 in Gravenhurst, 26 in Orillia, and call it 25 degrees with the Humidex right now in Owen Sound. This is a look at the temperature today, 25-15, the high, the low. A record 35 degrees not that long ago. Call it 10 years ago in 2016 and 5 degrees, 5? In 1951. I know we're into single digits in some areas of our region overnight over the next little while, but 5, yikes. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the forecast radar. And do we have an opportunity for a shower or two? Well, yes, and there it is. Now, the southern part of the province, a very good opportunity for considerable rain. The northern part of the province checks the box as well. We do stand to get some shower activity, but not as much active weather as some of our neighbors, shall we say, our Ontario neighbors. This is southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures settling in 11, 15, 17 degrees. Okay, there's a slight chance of a passing shower, sporadic shower. Wouldn't last long, not a whole lot of rain, and the winds out of the northwest this evening. Tomorrow, changing to the southwest. And that is indicative of the future forecast. We will get to that in just a moment. Sun cloud and a slight chance of a shower and or a thunderstorm parts of our region tomorrow, but it's just a slight chance. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill. 12 and 13 degrees overnight. Yes, there are a few clouds in the sky. Yes, it's a gorgeous sunset though. 22, 24 degrees is what we have to look forward to tomorrow. Fair skies. Again, slight chance of a shower and or a rolling thunderstorm throughout our region. Shouldn't last long though. Giddy up, go doggy, away it goes. Perry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 10, 11, 12 degrees, few clouds this evening. Doesn't look like we're having much of a chance of a shower this evening. And tomorrow, well, there is 23 and 24 degrees of sun and cloud mix, and there is a slight chance of a shower for tomorrow. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And here we go. Simcoe County, there it is. Yeah, Thursday, 25 degrees. Any rain in the forecast, little weather guy? Well, 30% chance of a shower. And then Friday, Saturday, looking good. Sunny skies, 24, 21 on Sunday. Considerably less humid, I might add. York region. Here it is. Sun cloud on the Thursday. Slight chance for passing shower, 27 degrees. Cool down a bit. Saturday, Sunday, or make that Friday, Saturday. Did I say Saturday, Sunday before? I apologize. Friday, Saturday, sunny skies, 24, 25. And on the Sunday, get it right, Case, cloudy skies and 40% chance of a shower. Should bring my glasses out here more often. Muskoka, Perry Sound, Halliburton. Okay, there it is. Sun and cloud, 40% chance of a shower on the Thursday. Friday and Saturday going into the weekend. Sunny skies, 24, 25 degrees. And Sunday, cloudy and a 40% chance of shower activity. 20 degrees for the high. And again, Sarah, I'm going to point out that Friday, the Friday evening, single-digit lows and not much rain. So the Water and Dirt Festival, we're kind of the same as far as our forecasts go. Back inside.
Only the Ottawa Valley would have something called the Water and Dirt Festival. Hey, it's a celebration of all things. Now, here is something that's kind of special. We have a first-hand look at the Ontario Science Centre location found at Toronto's Harbourfront Centre. Today, CP24 meteorologist Bill Coulter was given a tour, including the Space Deck and Innovation Station. Now, the Space Deck includes interactive exhibits designed to teach about outer space. The Innovation Station, meanwhile, is an exploration of gravity and motion done through hands-on activities and challenges.
We have over here some engineering materials, ring-majig, imagination playground, and the things that kids make, huge creations. It's really fun.
And these are the leaders of tomorrow, so you really want to get them inspired and you know, give them an option to get off the phones. Right?
Absolutely. This is where we inspire our engineers, our scientists, our biologists, our healthcare workers. It all starts here.
Admission to the Ontario Science Centre for people 17 and under is free until September 7th. Tickets are 50% off for young adults between the ages of 18 and 24. A Vancouver-based company says a new drug is showing promising signs of treating the symptoms of menopause. CTV's Adrienne Gabriel has those details.
It's a natural biological stage that nearly every woman will have to navigate in their life, though it's packed with stigma as well as debilitating symptoms.
Dry eyes to brain fog to mood changes, anxiety, night sweats, hot flashes. Every system in the body can be affected.
Positive signs from a new experimental menopause drug that could help decrease hot flashes has been developed by a Vancouver-based company called Orillia. Now, the news has sent the company's stock skyward, while also providing hope for those searching for a non-hormonal alternative to hormone therapy.
There's so many women who, unfortunately they have breast cancer, for example, and they can't take hormones, right? So this would be like a good alternative.
Advocates say that for too long, women have been suffering in silence, unable to access reliable treatments during their prime adult years.
At the height of my professional career, I had never heard of the word perimenopause, had no idea that you could have 30-plus symptoms.
A study by the Menopause Foundation of Canada found that 1 in 2 women feel unprepared for this stage of life, while 4 in 10 are reporting that they feel alone. Janet Coe co-founded the foundation to help break down the taboo and to close the knowledge gap while working to improve treatment.
For myself, it was a long and winding path to finding health and wellness, and I actually stepped away from an SVP role in my prime to really figure out what was happening to myself.
A 2003 study on menopause and work in Canada estimates that the unmanaged symptoms of menopause cost the economy $3.5 billion per year. While healthcare providers and advocates say today's announcement of a new possible treatment is positive news, more research and funding is needed to support women across the country.
An additional 12-week trial is expected for the new drug later this year. If approved, dosage would likely be a once-a-month self-injection. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Still to come, something new is cropping up. Why these tiny grains could grow into big financial gains. Plus, I'll recap tonight's top stories. Please do stay with us.
Country 106. Central Ontario's home for the best country music. After all the bars are closed. Listen to Pure Country 106 on the free iHeartRadio.
Recapping our top stories, auto theft is decreasing. That's according to a report from the anti-fraud group Equité Association. It says in the first half of 2025, more than 23,000 vehicles were stolen compared to more than 20,000 in 2026. That's a 10% decrease. Ontario saw more than 8% decline. Drivers are being urged to fill up today ahead of an expected jump at the pumps tomorrow. The cost of gas is set to rise 6 cents overnight. That's according to Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTagg. He's also predicting that diesel will rise by 12 cents. And the new YMCA in Barrie is coming together. The 77,000 square foot facility has windows, walls, and ceilings. This will be the 25-meter pool and the upper level fitness center. That right there, however, is the 12 youth transitional housing units that will be meant to help young people who don't have a stable roof over their heads. Farming in Canada, it's not easy or cheap, which is why researchers are exploring a lesser-known crop with growing potential to cut costs. CTV's Maria Saru has more on Kernza, a so-called wonder grain, which could also help our environment.
A lot of costs associated with planting a crop, so if you can get away with planting it once every 3 to 5 years, then you save those inputs.
Research scientist Aaron Mills says wheat can cost up to $800 to plant per acre, but for Kernza, it's closer to $100. And it can also do double duty, producing both grain and forage for livestock. But there are trade-offs like lower returns, and the market is limited, making it a good fit for farmers looking for a rotational crop.
It's not for everybody. What we try to do is add more tools to the toolbox for farmers.
One of Kernza's biggest advantages may be below ground. Its roots stay in the soil year-round, storing carbon pulled from the atmosphere. And because it needs less fertilizer and fewer trips across the field, researchers say it can also cut greenhouse gas emissions. Not only can it survive in maritime conditions, but also western winters, so land isn't left bare between crops.
I'm out west where this was prairie, and the great soils that we had were the result of having the permanent ground cover. So there are some maybe long-term benefits for all of us.
He adds, Kernza is already being used to make artisan bread and brew beer, but there's potential for more. Researchers are now watching to see just how long Kernza can keep growing in the same field before it needs to be replanted. Maria Saru, CTV News, Harrington, Prince Edward Island.
In business news, Cineplex reported a profit in its second quarter compared with a loss a year earlier. The movie chain posted its best revenues for a 3-month period in its history. Box office revenue per patron increased, as did attendance from the same quarter last year. It opened its new Palladium. That's an entertainment-based venue, and it's found in the heart of Vaughan. Moving right into the markets, the TSX was up 17 points, the Dow was down 184, and the Nasdaq was down 159. And commodities, oil was up, closing at $83.20 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $4,441 an ounce, and our dollar was up, ending the day at 71.80 cents US. The Barrie Baycats are back in action tonight as they travel to Guelph to take on the Royals. The Baycats were last in action on Sunday when they split a doubleheader with the Kitchener Panthers. Barrie has a record of 21 wins and 15 losses and currently sits in 5th place in the Canadian Baseball League, half a game back of the Royals and 4.5 games out of first place. First pitch for tonight's game is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. The Toronto Blue Jays, meanwhile, will look for a second straight win when they continue their series with the Boston Red Sox tonight.
Fly ball to right field, hit pretty well. Abreu going back, turning, watching, and it's gone.
The Jays took a 1-0 lead with a homer in the 5th inning before adding another run in the 6th. Now, the Red Sox scored on a controversial call in the 7th, but Toronto was able to hold on for a 2-1 victory. Ace Dylan Cease is set to start for the Jays tonight. Still to come, keeping things cool for decades. We'll have more on a contest to find Ontario's oldest working air conditioning unit. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Time now to take a look at your Tuesday night primetime lineup. MasterChef Canada starts at 8, followed by Sherlock and Daughter at 9, Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. An Ontario company recently held a contest to find the province's oldest working air conditioner. As CTV's Pat Foran tells us, a unit was found that's been cooling for decades.
This old air conditioner is being removed from a home in Pickering, even though it's still running. Buttons Heating and Air Conditioning had a contest to find the oldest working air conditioner in Durham region. And this unit, made by a company called Fetters, was still going strong.
Was it still blowing cold air? It was. I came here last week to do the confirmation. It was working and it was cooling the house very well.
Nigel Charlton says there were more than 100 entries in the contest, which included working air conditioners that were 41, 43, and 44 years old. But this model was the oldest working unit at 52.
Look after it, keep it clean. It'll look after you.
95-year-old Lois Kemp remembers getting the air conditioner in 1974.
I was just a teenager when it was installed.
Steve Kemp says he remembers when the family got the air conditioner and says over 52 years he doesn't recall it breaking down, not even once.
It's been there since 74, and like every year we've maintained it, we've cleared it, we've covered it in the winter. We've always cleaned it in the spring, make sure it's running top notch.
Winning the contest means Lois will get a brand new Daikin air conditioner. Charlton says it will be more efficient and save her money.
Yes, it's been running for 52 years, but if anything happened, she wouldn't be able to fix it. But she's got a brand new one that's more efficient. It's going to be quieter and far less taxing on her energy bill.
This past winter, the company had a contest for the oldest working furnace. The winner came in at 69 years old.
I don't recall us ever having any troubles whatsoever. Not one.
With the new air conditioner in place, Lois is optimistic that it will last for many years to come.
Well, I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
It's older than you, Case.
Yeah, the oldest working weatherman. Yeah, let's talk about the get up and go forecast first thing tomorrow. What are we looking at? Well, how about a mix of sun and cloud? Yeah, pretty much right across the board. Certainly sun and cloud in Barrie and Newmarket, 14, 16 degrees. Perhaps a little bit more cloud cover in the Gravenhurst area at 7 o'clock, but still a smidgen of sunshine. Have yourself a fantastic evening. Sarah.
Thanks, Casey, and same to everyone at home. Thanks for spending this hour with us. I'm Sarah Freemark. Jack will join you at 11. Have a fabulous night.